Get ready to feel
the power.
That's Colin Crandall, myself, Adam Roorda. Colin's actually the host, and as you see, we're in the new studio here down at Third Wheel Podcast Studio in Los Angeles. Just having another amazing day. Ready for a great episode. We don't have tons of flashy graphics like we normally do, but Colin, I think that's kind of a nice change of pace for me, at least.
It is. I like it. This is awesome. We got us in more of a wide shot here, which is going to definitely increase the speed that I need to get back into great shape. Before it was just the head and shoulder shot. But yeah, this is good, really comfortable. It's good to have you here on camera, Doc, and we'll be doing our usual thing and really comfortable surroundings. Great guys here. They say you don't want to be the third wheel, I guess, if you're going out on a date, but if it's not a date, you do want to be the third wheel. That's what we're going to illustrate here with our great MMA Power Hour show coming at you from this amazing studio, Third Wheel Podcast Studio in beautiful Los Angeles.
Absolutely. So, Colin, what are the three guests tonight that we have? Everybody's always excited for the guests that you're bringing up, and I'm always waiting for the last minute to figure out who it is because I want to be surprised.
Yes, absolutely. Sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you feel like a nut and sometimes you don't, as the old commercial would say for those of us over 40. We are having amazing fortune in that our first guest will be Bellator heavyweight contender Tyrell Fortune.
I knew that one was coming.
Absolutely. The dad jokes will continue even here in the studio. The second guest is going to be none other than one championship top contender and former champion Angela Lee. And then last but not least, we'll have the duo of Eric the Viking Paulson and Matthew Granahan. Yes. They did a great amendment to their book, Rough and Tumble, which also had 2 chapters written by the legendary judo Gene LaBelle. And it's a really great book that came out about a dozen years ago, and they've done an amendment to it. Eric the Viking Paulson, an amazing fighter, former Pancrase champion and Shuto champion, I believe both, or at least I know Shuto, and just an amazing teacher of submission holds at CSW. He once said that the human body is just a submission hold waiting to happen. And Eric Paulson is an amazing, amazing teacher.
Well, he's in there with Granahan, and he's always exciting for us.
Absolutely.
He's one of my favorite characters of all time.
Yes, the king of Connecticut, living out there in South Kakalaki. I remember when one of our second interview we had with him years ago, I didn't even know what the hell that meant. Now I know it means South Carolina, but I remember he kept saying that, and I said, you know, Matthew, are we on the same page? People that know me know that if I can't get to Rio de Janeiro or the south of France or, some other beachside paradise, I'd love to go to no other place than South Kakalaki.
South Kakalaki.
But it is nice. They do have Hilton Head Island over there and a lot of great places in South Carolina. And look forward to talking to my good friend Matthew, the king of Connecticut, Granahan.
Always great. So everybody that is tuning in for the first time on Fight TV, make sure to head on over to the Hannibal TV. Check them out on Facebook, YouTube, all over the place. And if you're over on the Hannibal TV, make sure to go to Fight TV. It's FITE.TV. And make sure to subscribe to MMA Power Hour. It's real easy. It's just right up there at the top in the search bar. It's real free, really easy, and... excuse me, guys.
That's
it's really easy to navigate, and it is free to use. There are pay-per-views on there. You can pay for those. Great pay-per-views with Triller or Fight Club Versus. They are the distributor for all of those exciting ventures. So definitely stay tuned with Fight TV, and you guys are the best for all the likes, comments, and shares. We thank you in advance for that.
Absolutely. Like they say, it's going to be a Trilla when Mike Tyson faces Logan Paul in Manila. No, it's not going to be in Manila, but if that fight ever happens, I think that Logan Paul will be the first young millennial to be completely flatlined by a Generation Xer in his 50s.
Logan Paul, you better watch out. I'm coming for you.
And Dr. Adam Roorda will be coming for you next, absolutely. And Jake Paul, get ready, man, because who is it that said, yes, from the great movie Bloodsport, remember Chong Li when he said, "You are next."
You are next.
So look out, Jake Paul. Anyway,
are we ready for our first guest already? I think so.
We may be. We're actually maybe a minute or two early, but
Okay.
you want to reach out anyway. I sure as heck hope that everything's coordinated there. I know
our first guest is who
it would be Angela Lee.
Angela Lee. Okay.
And I know that in Singapore, Tammy should be 10 in the morning over there right now, and there should be no
Singapore,
problem.
man, I want to move over there.
It'd be nice, huh? You got those Singapore girl airlines or so whatever the hell that was.
I don't know. I just hear it's one of the cleanest countries, one of the best places to be hanging out at. So
of course, because if you throw garbage on the ground, you get your hands cut off. That's why it's clean over there. No, I'm only kidding. Not in Singapore. In other places, yes.
If you smoke pot, I hear that's kind of what happens.
That might be it. Yeah, don't get free with your hands, else you may not have.
So I was hanging out at a mutual acquaintance of ours place the other day. I'm not going to bring up his name on air, but tons of money. Been arrested in like 3 different countries, and one of them was Singapore, and he was telling me about his experience getting off the bag. Literally had $14 million in marijuana on him.
Oh my gosh, that's like the French connection from the 70s.
I mean, he has that F-it money.
Yeah, he
and
does.
So
Yeah.
what do you do if you don't? If you have the F-it money, you might as well use it.
Exactly. That's so much weed that you can't even recreate Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke, where you have that in your car and you start eating it when the police are pulling you over. Because eating $17 million of marijuana, that would be a record. I wonder what the record is. How many dollars worth of marijuana in flower form can you eat without dying? Would you figure? Maybe.
I mean, you're just gonna pass out before.
There we go. That's true. It would
gonna be sitting there.
Yeah, it'd be like, hey man,
I've been there. I've challenged myself.
I like it. You can do it. You're right.
I'm not gonna do it anymore.
Nope, he's done that. He's been there and done that, and that will be for another life. But yeah, why don't we see if we can get Angela Lee?
We're not gonna get a tone. We'll just see her pop up here. I think that's how we're gonna be doing it.
That's right. Sure as heck hope so, because we definitely have checked with Tammy on 2 occasions, and it's
all confirmed.
Yeah, all
happens.
confirmed, without a doubt.
And just so everybody is aware, this is our first run. We're not actually doing technical rehearsals. We're coming in here. These guys are doing a great job at Third Wheel, so they're trying to keep up with us and take the hints and cues from us, and just waiting on the Angela Lee to pop up. So bear with us a second. We also don't see any chat screens today. I am going to go ahead and bring a laptop here for Colin and I to be able to touch base with you guys here in the future, and we can do that. And I actually could have done that. I didn't think about that. Guys back there, next time we're going to go ahead and use the restream over there, so that way we can put it up on the screen.
Absolutely. So I think, and you know what? I don't even have access to that email to connect with Tammy, I don't think, which is a shame.
Well, you don't have access to your Gmail to connect with her?
I do, but not the MMA Power. Do you have access to the MMA Power or Gmail? You would, wouldn't you?
No, I don't. Neither of us does right now. Servers are down for maintenance.
Well, no, that's the MMA Power Hour.
Oh,
server.
to the Gmail?
The Gmail.
No, I don't.
Rats.
Maybe I do.
I think you probably would. I think you probably
just waiting for them to log in. Cool. I'll shoot a message over
to Tammy. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. She's T-Chan at
T-Chan. Cool. Well, keep rolling, my man.
Yes.
Why don't you check out the fights coming up here?
There are actually no UFC fights coming up.
There's no UFC
Saturday.
fights. What about the fights this Friday with Frank Mir, the Triad combat with Triller? Did you even look into that?
You know what? I did. I am aware that Frank is going to be doing. Is that a grappling match only, or?
No, I think it's full on.
Man, the guy's like 50 years old
MMA.
now. Not
yeah.
That you can't be. But you know what? His daughter is doing well now. So let's see what I can find with Frank Mir, because I will talk on that subject when it comes to all things MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and combat sports. I can speak on it, I would hope, somewhat educatedly. And so let's see what we got with Frank Mir. I did look at that briefly. And let's see who he's going against. And it looks like he's going up against Kubrat Pulev in Triad Combat. Okay, very interesting. And so former UFC champion Frank Mir, and he's 19-13 now. So Kulab is a boxing veteran, Kubrat Pulev. And so I think these are both older guys. And Kubrat Pulev is going to be facing Frank Mir. So we got a former boxer in an MMA fight against a former MMA champion, and I have a feeling they're both in their mid-40s. So it's going to be interesting. All you got to do is pay $19.99, man. That's a throwback to the 1990s pay-per-views. Right. I remember a pay-per-view that I bought when I was like 20 years old was like $8.99 on pay-per-view for a good box.
Colin, I hate to say it, but we just got an email saying that there was a scheduling issue. So
are you kidding me?
It happens. We did get an extreme apology from them to reschedule, though. We did get it early enough.
Like 2 hours ago or something.
Yeah.
I was, yeah.
Yeah, well, we've been busy dealing with some stuff. It happens.
We have, but I was writing her for the last 3 days saying, I know we're confirmed. She confirmed it.
Yeah.
And now they bail.
Well, we try our best.
Yeah, we do. I mean, it is what it is. You know, we're not about trying to throw anyone under the bus, you know, and not only that, I think that may be the first time that they haven't come through, and
that is the first time that one hasn't come through.
So
Tammy does a great job.
She does. So I'm going to put this on Angela Lee. Shame on you, Angela Lee. When you make
probably one of her managers.
When you make a commitment to being on a show, please do it next time. It's really important, you know, because I think that, you know, one of the things that, you know, people I think don't realize is that there's different kinds of shows that we have out there. I understand if you're Joe Rogan and you have millions of viewers and lots of money, people are probably not going to bail on Joe, although once in a while apparently they do. I know that if you have Ariel Helwani and you have millions of viewers and watchers also, people don't usually bail on Ariel, but sometimes they do. But I think that a lot of fighters and some people feel that the average podcast is just someone going live on Facebook anytime they want, and there's no set time. It's not a big deal. We'll commit to being on your show, and then they don't show up. And it's like that. You know what? For someone that's doing a podcast that can go live, it's really not a big deal. But we have a professional show. We've had it for 5 years. We go live at a set time during a 2-hour period, and we have commitments. We promote the show. We advertise the show, and we do not ever advertise that we'll have a guest unless it has absolutely been guaranteed that they will be on the show.
Right. And you know what? It's a pain in the butt sometimes. But hey, let's get back to that fight. This coming up Saturday, actually. Frank Mir.
Yeah, I don't know how. I know.
Are you seeing the odds on this?
No. What is it? Mir minus 1,000 or something?
Plus 650.
Plus 650. Okay.
Pulev at negative 1,200.
Oh, wow. Okay. So then you know what it is. So
I say they have it right.
Yeah, I mean, Pulev is probably a lot younger. I don't know how old Pulev is, but Frank Mir, or is this if it's an MMA match though? Former UFC heavyweight champion headlines.
I don't know how anybody can put odds on this though, because it's in a triangle.
Yeah, in a triangle. What the hell? And it's in Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas, November 27th. Fight for 1999. And also co-main event, you have Matt Mitrione taking on Alexander Flores. Mike Perry scheduled to fight Sakio Bika in a 7-round bout. So it's a bunch of boxers against a bunch of MMA fighters. Here we go. Triad Combat Rules will be a hybrid of MMA and boxing, with the fighters being permitted to attack from the clinch and to throw strikes that would normally be banned in boxing, such as standing hammer fist and spinning back fist. Fighters will also be allowed to stand on their opponent's foot and throw strikes. Bring your foot over here. I don't see if I stand on it and if you can get away. I throw some punches, or maybe our crew. Could you? No, I'm kidding.
Triller never disappoints.
No,
man.
They don't. This is going to be a Triller with this rule set. Now, no kicks, knees, or elbows will be permitted, and there will be no ground fighting. That's why the odds are what they are. If there's no ground fighting, and you take Frank Mir, who's a high-level black belt in jiu-jitsu and ground specialist, he did start developing his striking game over the years, but that's why. So you have Frank Mir, a guy who did develop his hands and never became one of the elite strikers in MMA, but was considered kind of a low-key good striker for MMA, but you're putting him against a former high-ranked boxer in a hybrid matchup that allows no ground fighting. So those rules do make sense. They do. Maybe Frank will surprise. No kicks, knees, or elbows will be permitted, as well as no ground fighting. So essentially,
we need to get you on that mic awareness here.
Yeah, well, yes. Well, this is a new mic. I'm never aware of.
I'm going to give you a hard time like I do.
I know, right?
Normally, hey, Colin.
Yes.
This is my tip.
Tell me.
So, swivel it a little bit and turn around to the mic like this.
There we go.
No. Turn around, swivel around the mic.
How's that?
Well, but you can look at me.
Oh, there we go. Here we go.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, so I'm going to be doing this? Okay. Anyway, so this is the first time with this mic, so my mic awareness is going to be killer.
This is the beauty of our show. This is what we do.
It's
me giving Colin a hard time and him doing dad jokes.
That's what it is. That's one of the great 1-2 punches that we have for the MMA Power Hour. Still, wanted to let everyone know that's expecting Angela Lee. She did commit to being here, and then literally last minute, a couple hours before.
I mean, that's a real bummer. Well, I'm going to tell you, we are going to get the winner of the Frank Mir Kubrat-Lev fight next week. We've been promised that next week. So we will get that, and we'll see if I can maybe get Matt Mitrione or Mike Perry in here.
There we go. That would be a kick. I interviewed Mike in person, a tough Detroit guy, and he's a unique dude. That'd be a good score. We'll definitely have some people.
Man, Triller never disappoints, though. I mean, there's always... I mean, it's kind of a circus every time, but that's the beauty in it.
It really is. I would say their fights are always very trilling. That's why they call it Triller, because it's definitely a thriller when you watch
a fight. That was a bad joke.
Yes, it was. But we need to have the guys have the old drum roll.
So what about the Sergio Pettis fight coming up here on the 3rd?
Well, you caught me on that one. Let me see. Let's see that Bellator card. Horiguchi. That's a very good fight. Horiguchi is a very good fighter. And at 135, this is Horiguchi will be the bigger man. Even if Pettis is the new champion at that weight, he fought at 125 for quite a while. A good fight. Let's see if we can pull up the next Bellator fight. And it's funny for all you guys watching and for Dr. Adam Roorda here and our crew there. One of the things that you have, and I'm not going to harp on it much longer, but you have a guest planned, and then the flow would be interviewing that guest, and you have that in your head, and then last second you find out they're not showing up, and yet you need to continue with the content while being pissed off. So it's kind of a little bit of a, it's a challenge, you know what I mean? Because I'm sitting there saying, Angela Lee, all you got to do is show up, and meanwhile we have to then freestyle here. And but God knows.
How many times have we had to
You're
do
right.
this?
It's happened on a few occasions, and we have.
It's so funny. You guys are gonna actually see it now. All these times that we've been in that little dungeon back cave studio of ours.
Yep.
And Colin gets beat red, and I intentionally start playing around with the color on the camera.
To adjust me from looking pissed, yeah.
Make it Sharknado style, and you guys can't. You're going to see Colin's face get beat red.
Oh, you should turn my head into a shark head. That's be better than me looking pissed off.
I don't know if we can go Sharknado here. We've got 2 high-quality stuff going on.
That's true. Although, remember the idea we had with the filters? Maybe that's something we could eventually
The wombat.
Have. Yeah. Have someone turn into a wombat, or all of a sudden, like... someone who's like guest from France or French or Quebec.
Let me give a call. Well, actually, I'm speaking with Render here this week, this week. And I don't know if you know those guys, but
what are they going to?
A lot of the same people from Endeavor.
Okay.
They have augmented reality stuff that they do, so I can actually check with them and see if they'd be willing to give us some filters for OBS to throw in.
I would like that.
That would be pretty cool.
I think we're living in an augmented rendered reality, and the OBS they could give us hopefully would equate to no BS. That's something that's really important in my opinion. Let's take a look at this. Bellator exclusive stream. You Next becomes exclusive streaming partner of Bellator MMA in Japan. That I wasn't concerned about that, but let's take a look at what we got here. We have Kyoji, the Typhoon Horiguchi, 29-3, and he is going up against Sergio, the Phenom Pettis. That's going to be an amazing fight. And Horiguchi at one point held that Bellator bantamweight title, and we'll see if he can get it back from Sergio Pettis. Scott Coker is super excited, but when isn't he? That's one of the good things is he is always excited. He's very pleased to be able to deliver the world's famous martial arts competition, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so it's definitely going to be a good fight. But you know what I should let me pull up the best fight odds. That's what I wanted to do so that I can speak more educatedly.
That's really the only one with true odds.
That's it, man. Where is it here? Here we go. December 3rd. Main event, Kyoji Horiguchi versus Sergio Pettis. Co-main is going to be a tough fight between Emmanuel Sanchez and Jeremy Kennedy. We also have Jared Scoggins and Josh Hill, Achilles Mota, Mike Hamill. Achilles Mota, man, it's almost like someone says, man, that was some Achilles Mota that we had last night, wasn't it? I think that's how he got his name. His parents smoked a ton of weed, man.
His parents are my kind of people.
They really are. And then you got my favorite name in the sport of MMA, Colin Huckbody. this guy we got to talk to one day because, my name being Colin, I thought
Huck body.
Huck, I should be called the way with the shape I've been in the last year or so. I should be Colin Huck body. But all respect to you, he's in great shape. Then I would be in amazing shape if I was.
What about the fight the next day?
I think I'm more like Colin Schmuck body right now.
Colin, there's not enough names on that card. Let's go to the UFC card the next day.
Yes, you are correct.
You've got Rob Font. Oh man, I mean, just such a huge fan of him. I mean, come on, he's 19-4, and then he's going up against legend Jose Aldo, 30-7.
That is such an amazing fight. The question is, what font will be used on the screen for Rob Font describing showing
Impact? 100%. It's Impact.
I think so.
Comic book style Impact, very big bold letters.
I like that.
And it's going to say boom.
Now, should we ever ask? I remember when we had Moo, we would ask his opinion. Should we ever ask these guys' opinion on anything like that? You guys over there, the fighter named Rob Font is challenging the legend Jose Aldo Jr. When they show the fighter is wearing with certain colored gloves or trunks, for the man named Font, which font would you guys recommend they use on screen?
Common sense.
Which one?
Common sense.
Common sense.
It's got to be Impact. It's going to be the big bold letters, and it's like that kaboom.
And then what do you say?
Bam. Close though. Comic Sans is close.
Times New Roman. I always used
that
back in the day when I was putting stuff up on eBay and Amazon. Times New Roman, man, all day. Old school. I love it. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that contribution. All right.
Rob Font, though. I mean, seriously.
He's a beast, man, but Jose
Who
Aldo.
do you have in this?
You're putting me on the spot here. Let me see those odds. The odds have Font as a slight favorite. It's so tough. It's so tough, Adam. Jose Aldo was a legend, could beat absolutely everybody for about 7 or 8 years straight.
Right.
Then, and he started when he was like 19, right? So he started early. Now he's like 32 or 33, but an old 32 or 33. So he's found that the best guys he usually isn't beating, but he's coming close. This is going to be kind of, I think, the true challenge because the winner of this fight, I think, probably is right there to get a shot against Peter Yan.
I agree, and I think I called it a while back with Rob Font saying that he was going to be going straight to the title, and I actually think that's going to happen here. I think he's going to beat Jose. It's going to be a close one, but it is going to be a banger.
It will be, because Jose did lose to Yan, but that was really early on in Jose's bantamweight in his journey at bantamweight. He had been at featherweight for many, many years, and but yeah, I think Font too, though. But it's not going to be easy, man. Jose Aldo is such a beast and such a veteran. It's going to be. It is going to be an absolute war.
I think it's going to be, an absolute war decision.
Yeah, I think very possibly so, although they're both going to be busted up.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be an understatement.
Yeah, as Mr. T said from Rocky 3 when they said, what do you think about your rematch with Rocky Balboa? And what's your prediction? And he said, prediction? And he goes, yes, prediction. And then he says, pain. That's what it's going to be, pain for both of those two gentlemen. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's the prediction for the night.
That is the prediction, pain, man. Then we have the co-main event, Rafael Fiziev, or Fiziev, depending on how you want to pronounce it, against my boy from New Zealand, Brad Riddell, part of that Israel Adesanya's City kickboxing
Has he been
team.
One of our guests? I think he was.
No, I wish. We haven't had anyone from that New Zealand team on our show, but I would love to have Brad Riddell. I've been high on him for a long time. His last few fights, he was like barely a favorite or maybe even a slight dog, and he's won them both. Absolutely a killer, man. The guy is a beast, and I think Fiziev is good, but I think this is Brad Riddell's fight. It's going to be a real tough test, though, for both. Both of them, I don't think, have ever been the co-main event, and we have this. Wow, we have this as a pick'em or Fiziev slightly favored. No, I'm against that, man. I got the New Zealander all day from the continent of Australia. Aussie. Brad Riddell is my pick in that fight. Fiziev is good, but Brad Riddell is like a Terminator in my opinion. Who's your pick in that one?
I'm going to go with Riddell on this one as well.
Nice. Yep.
No qualms with what you just said.
Yeah, I mean, Brad Riddell is going to answer
Had to think about it, but no qualms.
Right.
I was trying to find it, but zero.
Right. No, totally. He's going to answer the Riddell of who is the better fighter that night.
Mm-hmm.
And the answer will be Brad Riddell. Then we have Jamahal Hill, who was on our show a couple times, against Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute, about a 2-1 favorite. Crute is a beast. He did get caught. I think he lost his last fight, or maybe the one before that. But Jimmy Crute is an absolute beast from Australia.
Is my doppelganger not in this fight?
Clay
Guida?
Oh, yeah, your doppelganger. Yeah, Guida. No, I don't think he's in this one. That would be your
Did
doppelganger.
they
That's
call it
right.
off?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, when you see him, you die. So hopefully you won't see him in person anytime soon, because we need you around at least for a little while longer.
A couple more years.
A couple more years, and then we can get one of these guys here to replace you. No, I'm kidding. What we
Well, they are right now. That's
They're good. That's it. As far as the technical.
I'm really uncomfortable, guys, because I'm used to sitting over there doing what you're doing and trying to do this at the same time. So for me, it's like, why am I not?
Exactly. He doesn't have anything to fiddle with. Maybe you guys give him make him up a mock board to run while he's on there. You know, he'll feel more comfortable. Yeah, he's doing something. Say, Doc, can you pull up the thing there? And he'll say, yeah, let me get right to that. And then you guys pull it up and put it right in there. That would be awesome. Okay, so that's going to be an amazing fight, though. Jimmy Crute, Jamahal Hill. Hill did succumb to the ground fighting of the great Scotsman Paul Craig getting submitted in his last fight. Craig is on an absolute killing spree, winning like 5 out of his last 6 fights, and I think 4 in a row or 5 in a row. So no shame in that. Brendan Allen, who has been on our show also, he has got a last-second replacement in Chris Curtis, and he is about a 3-1 favorite. And I think that's correct. Chris Curtis did beat Phil Hawes, but I don't think he's going to beat Brendan Allen. I think you'd probably agree. Right?
Yeah, no. Brendan Allen, I think, takes it. It's going to be a knockout.
Yeah, it could be. It really could be, but if it's a knockout, it'll probably be from ground and pound, although Allen is so much taller and longer, but he's also so much better a wrestler and a jiu-jitsu guy. The guy that's probably looking for the knockout.
Oh, it's totally coming from a ground and pound.
Yeah, that's what I would think could be. He just stops him with ground and pound. Very, very possible. Then we have Brian Barberina against Matt Brown. Man, Matt Brown is like 42,
I don't want to watch
41.
This fight.
Yeah, I know, because you hate to see Matt Brown lose. He's such a tough guy. He's such a veteran. I know we did a great interview with him on a media day a couple years back, and he's such a warrior. They call him the Immortal, and I think that's tattooed on his stomach.
Listen, it was like watching Evander Holyfield get knocked out. I feel like that we're going to be seeing this from Barberina here.
Probably so.
I don't want to watch it. He's just a legend in his own right, and there's a few fighters in there that are still banging it out like this. Cowboy is
trying to keep banging it out.
Matt Brown is another one, and unfortunately, Matt Brown never came back with a huge tear.
No, I mean, he pulled off a good win against Ben Saunders, which was kind of expected, and then he did lose the other fights that people kind of had thought he had a chance on. You know what's funny? Even Brian Barberina is kind of a legend. I remember once when I was in my 20s, I thought my mom had bought me a shirt that said "Legend in his own time," but it said "Legend in my own mind." And I was like, thanks, Mom. I appreciate that. Always with that support. I still wore it anyway, saying, here you go, guys. Legend in my own mind. Thank you. Anyway, we have Chris Gritsmacker, the man they call Grits, going up against Claudio Puelas, and Grits is a slight favorite. Tough guy. He's got one of those Tito Ortiz, Chris Lieben heads.
Wow, that's one of the ones more opening it up. The
and
fight odds has it way off as far as the order, but yeah.
Right, and you know what? Your doppelganger is in this card. I don't know why I thought he wasn't. He is. Clay Guida against Leo Santos, and they're both about 40. Actually, Clay is about 39, and Santos is about 42. Santos is a slight favorite. He's definitely taller, rangier, less miles on him. Guida keeps coming up, though, with these great performances. Most people thought he was going to get smashed by our friend Mark Madsen from Denmark, who we had on our show a couple years ago, but he made it really close.
I'm surprised how close that one was.
Yeah, me too. Guida is just a tough guy. He's training over there with Uriah Faber and
then before that, beating Michael Johnson, nobody expected that one.
No, that was I didn't think for a million years Michael Johnson would lose that fight to Guida, but Guida's tough. He's so grindy. He's in such great condition all the time. The guy sprints 3 miles on treadmills or on foot, and it's insane. He's a cardio machine, but he is getting older and definitely past his prime and undersized. For
this is the order, actually. So if you can find this one, Maki Pitolo against Dusko Todorovic.
Right. Okay, so that's an interesting fight. Pitolo, I think if he loses this fight, he may lose his job, and you never want to see that happen. Dusko, they actually pronounce Dushko,
I knew that. And
which is like
whatever. I butchered it.
the old douchebag.
Don't butcher me
the
for
80s.
butchering it.
No, we don't want you to butcher it. No butchering going on here. Well, a little bit, I guess, if you want to. I'll let a little bit go. But, yeah, Maki Pitolo, Dushko, Todorovic.
Who do you have?
And, man, I don't know. I don't know on that one. They're tough guys. They're both tough guys. But
What are the odds?
the odds makers are feeling that Dushko probably has it 1.5 to 1. I mean, the striking is going to go to Pitolo, but he always ends up getting into a little bit of trouble when grappling's involved. And and I think Dushko is pretty good on that. He's a pretty tough guy. Probably Dushko wins it, although I love the Hawaiian fighters. They fight with so much heart.
Really?
So I'm cheering for Maki Pitolo. And then we have William Knight and Alonzo Minifield. I can't remember if that's a fight that happened or was supposed to happen.
It was supposed to.
It was supposed to, that's right. And it got canceled, I think, 2 or 3 times. Finally happening, that's going to be a lot of fun. A couple of tanks at 205 pounds. And in that fight, Minifield, a slight favorite.
Look at this photo of Alonzo Minifield. Just look at
he's a beast. He's a monster.
He just looks like a brick wall.
He does. He's an incredibly strong guy.
Insane.
6 feet, about 5'11", maybe 6 feet even. Fights at 205, cuts down from like 230, and is just a tank. You know who is also on the card? Our friend who's been on the show about 3 times or 4 times, Alex Morono. He's on a streak, and he gets Mickey Gall, the man that was the first guy to sidetrack Sage Northcutt. I always would sometimes confuse him with the guy that also beat CM Punk, but I don't think he... You know what? I think maybe he did as well. I think Mickey Gall might have beaten Punk as well as Sage Northcutt. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, Mickey Gall is a tough guy. He came up with a good win that kind of surprised a lot of people in his last fight, and he is not expected to do anything against our guy, the great white Alex Morono, and I think that is correct. I think Alex is going to beat the break off of him. Yeah. 2 to 1. I think Alex Morono is absolutely the pick there.
He lost to Mike Perry, who's fighting this week.
And Alex Morono would have smashed
Mike Perry got released by the UFC for a reason.
Yep.
And it's because he wasn't able to really perform. And
no. That's what his girlfriend said. No,
That wasn't
Mike actually
said. Talks all the time, and it says his girlfriend says the opposite. So I don't know.
Yeah, Mike Perry, don't watch this show, please. I'm from Detroit. I love you.
You might
Don't
be
kill
missing
me.
some teeth here.
Don't
next
kill
week.
me. I want my teeth. I need them. And then we have. Wait a second. Now, Brendan Allen was supposed to fight Roman Dolidze, and so that fight's off, we know, and so that's why Brendan Allen is fighting Chris Curtis. Cheyenne Bays back in action against Mallory Martin. You guys know which famous classic 1980s comedy had a character named Mallory? Can any of you think of it?
Nope.
Which classic comedy of the 80s?
No idea.
You're all millennials, that's why. It was the famous show with Michael J. Fox, Family Ties.
Oh.
His sister, Justine Bateman, played Mallory. That was the last time. She was cute too. But
remember the weirdest shit.
I know. Nowadays she looks like the bottom of my shoe. All respect to Justine Bateman, but God bless her. But anyway, that's the last time anyone ever heard of any girl named Mallory, isn't it? I mean, which girls
Not ever.
are named Mallory?
I mean, I know a few.
You do?
Yeah, they're all my age.
There we go.
They're probably the last ones named Mallory.
They are. Have you guys over there ever run into any girls named Mallory? No. See, you have a better chance of running into a mallard duck than a girl named Mallory, I think.
I have run into a few more of those than I have Mallories.
You have, that's right, because you're in Iowa. They have those. Don't they have those Canadian?
Well, that's where they have both of them, I think. That's what it sounds like. They're all in Iowa, mallard ducks and Mallories.
And then you have yes, I like that. That was awesome. You got one of me. And then you have those Canadian geese. I heard those guys are mean.
Yeah, and then they'll come after you.
Yeah, they'll hiss. They'll run at you hissing. You ever seen like those TikToks or whatever, where the goose is chasing a little kid and he looks mad, But anyway, Mallory Martin against Cheyenne Bays. They both need a win here. That might be a loser-go-home fight. I don't know. Maybe not. They're both tough girls, but I think Bays needs it. She's had a couple losses, and Mallory has had a few more wins, but both tough girls. All respect to both of them. Philippe Lins is taking on Azamat Mirzakhanov at heavyweight. And a big favorite is Mirzakhanov against Philippe Lins.
He's undefeated.
Yes, he is. He is undefeated, and he is. I think he's allergic to losing. So there's not much of a possibility when you're allergic, right? You can't deal with that because then your whole system breaks down, falls apart. So I think that will be a good win there by.
I mean, he's one of these Russians. You know, the Russians and Dagestanis right now.
Very tough, man. Those guys are so tough they could almost possibly beat you in a real fight, Adam. But
I don't know if they could.
That might not. That might be asking too much. Yeah,
little old me.
You're tough.
I'm tough.
You're tough. They might not have too much of a chance. But
tough
man,
as a brittle, rusted nail.
Oh man, and those things can be tough. As Elvis would say, my boy, can Hawaii get sticky? Anyway,
every episode, man, you have to throw that.
I have to
every
throw that.
episode.
I love that. I think that was in This Is Elvis, a movie from like 1976 or something.
Well,
like
you
that.
know what? I want you to come in with an Elvis wig. With the sideburns and all. I want to see that one of these days.
I might have to do that. I mean, the one thing is that I'm a huge fan of Elvis, and I think if you're really going to be an Elvis impersonator and you got it down, then that's a compliment. But if you come in there looking like a jackass, it would be an insult, and I wouldn't want to insult Elvis. I love Elvis.
I'm from a generation doesn't give two Fs about it.
That's right.
So.
Generation X, we loved Elvis. He died when we were very young, but and some of Generation X's, I think, were not even born.
No, Elvis walked on water for you guys.
Man, oh man, Elvis was God, you know. Anyway, so you that's right, baby. So we have what do we have next here? So Vince Morales is going up against The Last Samurai, who was also on our show. Louis Smolka. Smolka is a slight favorite.
Yeah, Smolka's got this one.
And
I don't know how he's a slight favorite.
I don't know. What do you think? You think Smolka is going to smoke him?
Yes, I do.
I think so too. Absolutely. So Smolka coming out of that great team, Colin Oyama. You know when you have the name Colin that you're going to be
17-7 going up against Vince Morales, who's 10-5. It's going to be pretty close, but Smolka's a beast.
I think so. Now, remember the rocker Vince Neil? What group was he in? Do you remember? Do you guys remember Vince Neil, the rocker? Was he in Motley Crue or something?
No.
Let's find
was he
out.
Motley Crue?
No, maybe he wasn't. Let's see. Let's see if we can find out what group Vince Neil was in, the rock and roll legend.
Now we're playing a quiz session here.
This is it. This is a new segment on the MMA Power Hour, the rock and roll.
This is what happens when we drop guests. It does happen, guys.
This
so
is
you
the
guys have to
freestyle.
get used to this occasionally.
Exactly. So let me see. Vince
Still have
Neil,
fun.
Vince, this is definitely fun. I can tell these guys love this. This is Vince Neil
they're
in.
peeing themselves with excitement
They
over there. I
are.
can tell.
They are loving
Hold
this.
themselves back.
He was Motley Crue. I was right.
Okay, there
Vince
we go.
Neil from Motley Crue. You know, so
Izzy Presley is going to slap me in the face.
I
'cause
know
he's
for not
watching.
knowing. Well, Vince Neil is 60 years old.
He's probably watching with Vince Neil, actually.
I think you're probably right. Well, I think if Vince is 60, I think he might be in both of our wheelhouses to set up a boxing match against. I think we might be favored against Vince Neil. What do you think?
I mean, that's like me against Chuck Liddell. Of course, I'm going to be the favorite. So
That's true. I think you'd be the favorite.
I think let's make Vince Neil.
We got to do it. He's that, you know, and I think we could do like what we could do is we could have Motley Crue perform with him before the main event, and in the main event, Vince Neil will be fighting me in a modified MMA fight. There we go. And man, oh man, I'm excited about that. Vince, I'm going to reach out to you and see if we can make that happen.
Well, they let Holyfield fight, so
They did.
They'll probably let Vince fight.
They did, and his ex-wife is pretty cute there. But what can you say? Man, oh man, can Hawaii get sticky on that one?
Man,
so
twice in one show.
Hot time in Georgia, rainy night in Florida. Anyway,
Next thing you know, blue suede shoes.
That's it, man. They say it was no big romance. Anyway, next question, baby.
We're gonna get flown to Memphis now.
We are. We're going to be brought in there so I can finally marry Elvis's granddaughter. That would be awesome. But she's only about 27 or 8. That might be too old for me. What do you think? I should go about 22, 23.
Which granddaughter?
I don't know. She's a cute girl that she never met Elvis, you know. But I don't know. But then again, I wouldn't want to do that, or would I? Elvis, can you send me some vibes? Do I want to?
Let's talk to Izzy.
He said I should.
It's Izzy Presley.
It could be. You're right. Well, he said I should marry Lisa Marie because she's more of my age.
Okay.
But I don't. You know, we always want to. When I'm so rich
You know what?
and
We need
famous,
to get Izzy in here sometime. Izzy would be a blast to have in here.
I agree.
With us. Yeah.
But what if we got to insist he has a crew cut before he comes in here?
No, he's not going to do that. He might wear his mankini though.
Oh my goodness, man! Oh man, Izzy Presley and the Mankini.
All of you on Fight TV checking this out. If you guys look up Izzy Presley,
Yep.
it's Izzy like Izzy and then Presley.
Yes.
Check him out. He does a lot of metal stuff. He works with Monsters of Rock. He's pretty much their mega host for their cruises. But you do not want to see the photo, but you want to see the photo of him in a mankini. It's one of the most hilarious things, and he sports it.
Nice.
Like he just owns it.
Well, women love to see Izzy Presley in a mankini. That we know.
That's what I heard.
And right, so we'd have to make sure though that women all around the world were. In fact, that could be one of the highest rated shows we do.
You cannot hold us liable for the
No.
illness that you come up with and
Right.
succumb to. So
Exactly. if it overwhelms you to see Izzy Presley in his mankini, then make sure to hide your eyes. But we may have to do that. But anyway, of course, a disclaimer: any sort of ripping on anyone.
we're getting pretty close to our
We are.
next guest.
We are. Well, yeah, we are. We actually are.
Actually, yeah.
That's it. I was going to say, anyone that I have offended by goofing around here, please don't take it personally. I have all respect
Next
for
one's
all
Tyrell,
personal
right?
fighters. Yeah, for all you
Tyrell
professional
Fortune.
fighters. Yes. As I have all respect for all you professional fighters, and I'm just trying to joke around and make things fun, and love to have anyone on the show that I mentioned. If you hear your name, please raise your hand and say here. Anyway, look forward to talking to you. All respect to everyone out there. So I guess whenever we can, hopefully we will see our next guest show up. And meanwhile, I think that Angela Lee is going to hopefully be here next week, and we can make things happen. But
her, if we get her and Frank Mir, because Frank Mir surprisingly wins, that would be pretty
that would be cool.
Yeah.
And then we could actually have both of them do a grappling demonstration here in Los Angeles in the studio. Well, wait a second. No, she's about 120 pounds, and he's about 280 pounds. That might not. Do you remember when Frank Mir went over?
I was just gonna
Yeah, that might be. I'll tell you what,
little girl.
you know what though? In a lot of these top MMA schools, it doesn't happen often.
I'm kind of bummed I didn't bring my little Frank Mir figurine. that I
Bobblehead.
have.
Yeah, we have that, and then we have the one I brought, the Kimbo Slice, and we got
I
all
was
that.
going to
good
bring
stuff.
him, but I wanted to check the studio out.
Right, you're gonna see the lay
Actually,
of the
this
land here.
minimalist look, I'm seeing it over there on the screen. It looks real great.
It does. It really looks good. Now, next time I'm going to show up and be in better shape. That's the important thing here now. But we definitely want to make sure that our guy Tyrell Fortune is going to jump on soon, and hopefully that we will see there. But anyway, I appreciate all you guys being here, and hopefully it doesn't look like I'm slouching here. It's a comfortable chair. I got to figure out. I'll take a look and see.
Shoot him a message, see if he's hopping in here. If you make sure you got the link.
Okay. All right, let me do that. I'll do my.
Sometimes emails disappear.
That's it. I'll do my famous dictation here. All right.
Oh, you're gonna do your famous dictation?
Yep. Let's do it. Hey Terrell, just wanted to make sure you're ready to jump on the Zoom link we sent you. We're looking forward to talking to you here. Okay, and so when I dictated it, it comes out, "Hey Tara." Speaking of Tara, did you know Tara La Rosa was called out for a grappling match and she accepted? So we may have to bring her back on for the first time in a while.
Oh, that'll be exciting. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Because I think she was battling.
Let's get her on next week.
Yes. Okay, I'll call her.
You sitting here holding up your phone the whole.
Yeah, we can't. Oh, there we go. Oh, let me see. I'm looking over there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Because, we've never had a situation where we've had two guests in a row not show up on an episode. Also, for the guys here to the left to know, we don't have people not show up very often. But it does happen occasionally, even with the biggest shows out there. But still, it doesn't happen very often. But we've never had guest number one not show up and guest number two not show up. Things don't go that way with us. So hopefully Tyrell Fortune should be logging on any second into the Zoom link. Because
We'll see. We'll see.
Because otherwise I will have
we're
to.
so used to dancing to Skype music right now, too, guys.
That's right. Yeah, we don't have the Skype.
Now we got rid of our Skype dance.
Yeah, we can't do ding, 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 ding.
Oomph, oomph,
Yep,
oomph.
the old Skype dance. But, man, oh, man. I'll tell you, Dr. Adam Roorda, it is so good to have you here in studio, sitting there. And it's like...
This is a lot different.
It
A
is.
lot different.
It's a different feel. Who are the guys who are the famous co-hosts of the big shows nowadays? I don't even remember. I never watched those shows. But who does Jimmy Fallon have? Who's that fat guy?
Andy Richter.
Andy Richter, is that it? And then who else? Who do the other guys have? Is anyone well known as Andy, or is he the only co-host?
I mean, I'm sure they're well known. Not to me, because I don't pay attention.
I don't watch that stuff.
I don't have time anymore. And mostly that's because of Lift Token. And by the way, everybody, this show is brought to you by Lift Token. It's helping get us here into this studio. Make sure to go on over to lifttoken.io. Check it out. It's lifttoken.io. lifttoken.io.
That's right. And if you buy that Lift token, you won't end up having to say I owe this and that.
Oh, hopefully not. I'm not going to make any claims here, but
Nope.
yeah.
That's it.
It's all about sustainability, ethics, and business. Check it out. I really urge you to, just because there's so many amazing things going on with it. I'm actually the blockchain architect. Not only am I into MMA media, but I'm also into cryptocurrency.
Yes,
so.
he is. Whereas I kind of fancy myself more of the blockhead architect. I'm just like I'm just creating blockhead.
When it comes to fighting, you're definitely not.
No, I appreciate that. I guess
You're definitely not. I am in comparison.
I appreciate that. I'm a blockhead in every other aspect of my life, though. I feel sometimes I'm trying to win and I just can't win. You know what I mean? But I don't know. No, I'm grateful. I've had some good things happen, and I'm not always the blockhead architect. Although girlfriends might argue
you're reverse undefeated.
That might be it. Exactly. Like my Detroit
completely
Lions.
defeated.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. This is depressing now. Let's change the subject.
Yeah, the Lions, man. Every
I feel
year
like I
I
need
cheer.
a joint for you right now.
Exactly. Oh, we was 0-9-1. We set the record back when the NFL had 16-game seasons. We set the record as the only team ever to be 0-16. In fact, we created a jersey. Someone in Detroit.
Oh, that was the Lions. I remember that.
Created
yeah.
a jersey, and it said Owen, O-W-E-N, at the top, and the number 16 below it. Is that great? Because that was our record. So now...
What year was that?
I think it was 2008. I believe it was 2008. So now we have a chance to be the first team that's...
Wait, 2008 or was it 2007? Because the Broncos went and won the Super Bowl that year. It was 2007, 2008. Yeah,
right.
It was that season.
So had we not had a tie or a draw with the Pittsburgh Steelers a couple of weeks ago, we would have had a chance to be the first team to be 0-17. But since we got that draw, now we have a chance to be the first team that goes 0-16-1. So there's still a chance for us to set another ignominious
Do it again.
record.
Lose as many as you can.
Yeah,
Has Tyrell responded to you?
Let's see. No, of course not. It's
oh man, what the?
This
heck
would be really bad. We're ready for you if you just click the link that our producers emailed to you. That would be awesome.
He didn't respond at all.
You know, he's confirmed like 7 times in the last 4 days. Yeah. Man, oh man. I mean, can I channel Elvis? Can someone help me do something here?
You've been channeling him all night.
I have been. Elvis, can you help me get to talk to Tyrell Fortune and direct him over there to the link on the Zoom? I mean, gee, many. You know,
it sounds to me like let you spoke with Granahan before, right?
Yeah, those guys are going to show up. I talked to Eric and
tell them to come on in. I don't
know if they're ready to go in early. They both are family men. Well, somewhat. No, his kid's already grown up. I mean, this would just be really.
Let's see if they can come in.
Shiesty stuff for this.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got Granahan and Paulson. We got 2 guys. Bring them in.
We do. I don't know.
I know Granahan can carry us for tonight.
Yeah, although these
guys will see. You guys are gonna have a blast.
Oh yeah, these next guys are good. You know what though? Nowadays, everyone has shit planned until they're supposed to come on. So I'll just gently ask them, but otherwise we'll just keep freestyling. Maybe we'll bring.
I'm sure Granahan has enough projects to talk about.
He could probably jump on early. Maybe I don't know about Eric though. Let me send this to the group message that Matthew put us in, and somehow if they can't make it, we'll bring Fred and Edward over there in here to bring these guys in here. We'll bring Melvin and Arthur over there.
We can at least keep this one open
There
for
we
these
go.
other guys. Listen, Tyrell's not responding. Yeah. I'm not
Okay,
gonna
let
worry
me.
about it.
Pretty unbelievable. I mean, it's like Okay, that's
Wah, wah,
yeah.
wah,
They're making
wah.
a real great beginning of the new studio.
Yeah,
Really
right, the
making
new
us
studio.
look good in front of our.
I know there's not very many of you watching tonight, but some of you look for us every week, and I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys for that. We intentionally did not promote this because of our first week being in this studio. We didn't know how it was going to go.
Yeah.
And,
Now we know.
Now we know.
Like Dana White
we,
would say,
we know it's going to go well for us.
yes,
but
we just don't know which of our guests
yeah,
are
I
going to
can
be
tell these
reliable
guys are great.
and honor their commitment. I don't know. Maybe we should have. Is there a girl in the studio somewhere out here that can pretend she's Angela Lee and I can ask her questions like she's the one championship flyweight contender, Angela Lee, and then maybe one of you could pretend you're Tyrell Fortune, Bellator heavyweight and former wrestling god.
Yeah,
That might be
that's the way to
good.
do
You
it.
bring them in. No, okay. I'm going to send this to Matthew and Eric. Hey guys, quick question. Any chance you might be able to come on early, like in the next few minutes? Question mark. If not, we understand. All right.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a record.
Twofer.
Two
Twofer.
exactly. It's a two-bagger we hit. Both of our guests blow us off, but can we describe the blow-off any different way? Because one blew us off by having our contact, her
I'm not even gonna,
head of
you're just
PR,
saying
letting us
blowing
know
off
2
too
hours
many
early,
times.
and the other guy just doesn't show up. So one of us. I guess it's like in stock market investing. It's a blow-off top kind of, isn't it?
Blow off, blow out,
Something like that. Yeah.
blow job. I don't know.
Yeah, there we go. Is this what you call a Brazilian blowout? I think that's what. Is this what you
This
get?
is the beauty of being OTT guys. We can talk like this.
That's right, man. This is OTT as OTT gets.
He has no idea what it means.
And it also, not only that, can we talk about some NFTs? I'm feeling like our audience is really wanting to know what the latest on NFTs are. Can you say anything, Adam?
The latest. I wish I could tell you right now. I know in general with NFTs, most people are starting to do a lot of crazy things with actual supply chain
Right.
connectivity.
Right.
I have some really amazing news. I'm probably going to be able to share next week, but I can't quite yet. I have
Okay.
to go sign paperwork tomorrow.
No problem.
But NFTs are definitely the craze. I think a lot of meme coins are kind of pushing that whole craze, but it's moving more towards the actual anime coins right now.
Right. Nice.
So look for the anime tokens out there because they have a lot of cool artwork that's anime related for NFTs.
Okay, I like that. Well, I know we got Hugo and Howard over here on the left running things.
And Joe and Fred.
Joe and Fred, that's true. Well, it's like, I don't know. I can sometimes it's hard to tell.
We need to get to know these guys a little better.
These are good guys here. I'm not ripping on them.
They don't
but-
deserve to be Joe and Fred.
No,
every
they
day.
deserve to have names.
Unless you guys are Joe and Fred.
Well, they look like twins. I can't tell them apart. If I see these two guys walking down the hall, it's like the same guy, But what do you guys know? Can you guys give us any advice on cryptocurrency here in case our MMA fighters want to do any investing?
They are into it big.
Ethereum Classic we have from
He likes that, actually. I've never liked the Classic.
Went down under $50, so it's a good time to buy.
That's a good time, right? So Anthony said that Ethereum Classic, and then Frederick, which one do you think is going to be the good cryptocurrency?
Dogecoin, man, come back.
Nice. Frederick is all over the Dogecoin. You got the dog, and then anyone going for the Shinbu Inu or whatever the hell that is?
Shiba Inu.
Shiba
No,
Inu.
that one's pretty much dead. A lot of people are trying.
Yeah.
No, Doge has a better chance of coming back
I
than
agree.
Shiba Inu does.
I think someone said you're kind of an anus if you buy Shinbu Inu anymore nowadays. Aren't you? So don't be an anus unless you get royally, smashed with that.
I did call the
Shiba
all-time
Inu.
high and got into it with a bunch of fighters. So
Yes,
those of
yes.
you out there that want to sit there and tell me I'm wrong, look
Yep.
at the chart right now.
Exactly.
I called the high.
Yes. This
Yes,
guy.
I'm,
yes.
I'm pointing at you.
He knows it. Yep. People know that Dr. Adam Roorda is a doctor of cryptocurrency, and with heading up Lithcoin. This Lith token is amazing. Everyone loves it. And it sends you a message that if you're using lithium technology, then you're on the right track. And if you're prescribed lithium for your doctor, please take your medicine. Very important. Very, very important.
Maybe I take a lot.
You're taking a
I
lot of
never
lithium?
told you this.
No? Are you on some antipsychotic medication that I don't know about?
Dealing with
Is that
you,
why-
yeah. Dealing
That's-
with you.
That's why the temper sometimes comes in and out there. It's unexpected. It's
Out of nowhere.
Man, oh man, Ken, yeah.
Veins popping out.
Oh boy, that's what I would say, and it is serious. You want to, if you have medicine, take it. That's one of the sad things I think, in all honesty, about life is that if you have, you're stricken with mental illness, it's not funny, and people don't want to take their medicine, and that's the sad.
Yeah,
thing.
we crack jokes about the medication, but not
it's
the
serious.
people.
Yeah, no, it's it's no fun. Life is hard, and God bless anyone that does have any illness. It's like it's hard to stay sane, in all honesty, and all this insanity that we have the last year and a half here with this pandemic, and we're all still wearing face diapers here in 2021. You get your shot and you still wear a face diaper, and then you're walking around and people are saying, "You want to eat in our restaurant?" That's fine. Just let us know that you put something in your body that you were forced to put in your body, and we'll let you eat here. But otherwise, get out of here, you dirty scoundrel, you filthy rat. And it's like, what world are we in, man? What world are we in? Let's all move to Florida, Anyway, that was my political monologue, and whatever that other word used to be, a filibuster. That's it. Remember a filibuster, Dr. Adam Roorda? You've been known to conduct a filibuster once in a while in your day, haven't you?
Every day.
Every day. That's right. That's a big part of your life.
There's always an election going on, and yeah.
I like that. Absolutely important. Man, oh man. Let's see what
filibusters in all the legislation that I do.
I like it. Yeah. So, well, here we are. We have $5 gas. And we have food in stores and restaurants costing double and triple, and empty shelves. You can't get the cat food or dog food you wanted. But what I have to say to that is, let's go, Brandon. You're doing an amazing job, dude. We're loving it here. Everyone's doing so well.
You're yelling in all of our ears. You're so excited about that. Hey,
Yes.
So let's get back to some MMA here.
Tell me.
Jorge Mossvidal and everything going on there with the broken ribs, having to pull out from 269, 269.
Well, so how I read that is the couple was 69ing and someone had to pull out. Is that what you're conveying to me?
No.
No? That's not what that was?
Colby's talking about Jorge Mossvidal pulling out of UFC 269 due to broken ribs.
Yes, there was supposed to be Mossvidal and Leon Edwards. That's off. Yeah, that's actually been shown to be the case. That's unfortunate because that's a fight. Well, remember how that fight started, Dr. Adam Roorda?
Is it because of broken ribs?
No. How they pulled out? No, I think maybe it was. It was. But remember why those two fighters have animosity with each other. We go back about 3 years. To Jorge Mossvidal had gone over to England and starched Darren Till, and I think Till's last welterweight fight, right? And he's being interviewed by Megan O'Leary backstage. And then all of a sudden she says something, and instead of him paying attention to her, his eyes kind of wander like this. And then he says, "Yeah, we could do it." And then they're like, "What?" And then what happened was Leon Edwards had walked by him during his interview and said something like, "Why don't you fight someone for real, that can fight?" And so he kind of got distracted, and then he walked off of the interview with Megan O'Leary to further confront Leon Edwards. And Leon Edwards was there with his brother, Fabian Edwards, a good Bellator fighter, and the other guys from England. And he made the mistake of walking close to Jorge. Jorge had his hands behind his back, which I guess when someone's a real tough, truly tough guy from the streets, as Jorge is, that's how you show that you're not going to throw punches if you have your hands behind your back. And I guess Leon Edwards guys didn't really know that in England. So Edwards walked up to Jorge with his hands straight up like that, and Jorge hit him with 1-2 in the soda. He went bap.
Right, yeah. I
cracked him twice.
How many years ago was that?
That was about 2 to 3, I think 2.5, 3 years ago, right?
That
a little
was-
bit before the pandemic. Yep, he gave him the 1-2 and the
At least
soda.
a year
No,
after
the
we
2-piece.
started, yeah.
That was it. The 2-piece and the soda.
2-piece and a soda.
Yup. And he bloodied up his face. And Leon's been wanting to get Jorge.
You know what's more interesting, though?
Huh.
The Jorge Mossvidal and Colby Covington beef that's going on.
Yes, because they used to both train over there at
they were
American
like
Top
best
Team.
buddies.
They were good buddies over there at ATT. Yeah.
Do you know what happened there?
No, I think they were good buddies, and then they no longer were.
You know, I heard it had something to do with a girl. Not even joking.
Well, that was an old rock song. They say, I think it said it's a woman to blame, but I know that it's all my fault or something. I don't know. I forgot what that was. An old rock song.
So are you saying it's your fault?
Well, yeah, I knew. Was I involved in that? No. So I think anyone blaming me, I can honestly say
Colin showed up and said, he said you look like Elvis.
That's what it is. No, I said
don't know.
he said that your girlfriend acted like a douchebag at that party last night. And then he said he is. Well, tell him what I think. And I said, all right, well, he thinks your girlfriend is a douchebag. And then, it got really bad from there. No, I wasn't in the middle of that. I had nothing to do. I plead innocent of all charges, as someone famous once said. But, yeah, they don't like each other anymore. Jorge Mossvidal doesn't like Colby, and they're calling each other bitches and this and that and fake this and fake that. And so they may have to get that on at some point. I don't know, but I do know that Mossvidal is still doing some good training over there, I think, with Dustin Poirier. So since we still have time and our guys are probably not going to come on until they're ready, we're freestyling like an MFer here. So, Doctor.
Well, yeah, 100%. Those of you on the Hannibal TV, make sure to go on over to Fight TV. This is a perfect time for you to get familiar with us over there. It's FITE.tv, MMA Power Hour in the search bar. Just hit it real quick, and then you can go ahead and hit follow. You can make us your favorite, and you do have to sign up. It is free, though. Go ahead and pop in your email address, and you will get updates about our show.
Yes, you do have to.
And I'm going to apologize in advance to you 60,000 people that we're going to be emailing here soon. You guys are going to be getting flooded with updates about MMA Power Hour, and
yes.
I thank you so much for signing up.
We really appreciate it. We appreciate you very much. In all honesty, we really appreciate people watching us. We do sometimes have thousands of fans, and we do sometimes not have thousands of fans. But
it's funny. We'll see.
We will be having more and more because we
watching 1 million pop up, and then all of a sudden.
Yep, slides all the way down. But no,
30.
Yeah, but we 30 million. No, we do have
it's coming.
We do have a good audience.
Oh, a Third Wheels podcast studio here in Los Angeles. I think it's going to happen. This is a great look. This is a great vibe.
It is. This is a great look, and with Mac and Andrew here helping running things.
That's close on one of the names.
It is. I like it. It's going to be cool.
I actually didn't catch the other one's name.
Isn't one of them Fritz?
Is it Andrew?
Fritz and
Fritz?
John
Fitzpatrick?
Johan? No.
I really?
Like that. I like that. That is
Alex?
funny.
Adam? No.
It's not a
Ahmad?
white name. What?
Ahmad.
Oh, I thought you got it.
Armando.
What?
Armando.
Oh my God, that's really close.
Armand.
Yeah.
There we go. We got Armand and Mike.
I am a little bit psychic, In fact, one of the things, the skills that I've had that I haven't heard any other guys that have, I have a great ability to guess women's weight. What worse skill can you have than that? I mean, right? In what situation is that going to work out well for you? Right? If I'm still waiting for a time when I can somehow make some money or not get hit in the mouth guessing women's weight, because I can guess it. I can look at a girl and say 133 pounds. And like, what the hell? How did you know? Wait a second, I don't look like that. I'm that fat, do I? I'm like, no, of course not. So then I realized, but if I guess under, I might know their weight, but I will guess under. But then they'll say, you're wrong. So I don't know what to do. I'll try to make some money on that at some point. But, Oh, Lord, have mercy. So
I would not advise going to try and make money on that.
No, I mean, I guess if you're in the circus, but doesn't it seem like if they had
theme
that
parks, they have the guess your weight thing.
But then women will never go. It's always us guys that are going, pretty much, isn't it?
No, women will do it.
Will they do it?
Well, they get mad when you guess. They always do it thinking that you're never going to guess their weight.
Well, you know what is? The only women that will go to that are women that weigh between like 105 and 125 anyway. So it makes it a little bit easier.
I mean, you'll probably get offered great pay for getting it right all the time. You never have to give any away stuffed animals.
That's true.
Or drugs.
That's true.
Or
are there any circus jobs?
In 2021.
Armand and Felix over there, are you guys able to get me a job in the circus if I needed it? No, Armand has lost his contacts there. He had some contacts over in the south of France.
So everybody that's south of France or not south of France, thank you for tuning in. Literally, do us a huge favor. Head over to our social media. It's just at MMA Power Hour, all social media platforms. Go ahead and give us a like, comment, follow. You guys are the best. I know you're hanging with us tonight a little more than normal. That's just hanging out, but it is what it is. We had 2 guests kind of flop on us, so.
Yes, we did. They did the old belly flop, and they left me to look like a deer in the headlights. But a little bit I did.
I mean, we're pretty good at this.
We are pretty good. We kind of have it down. We don't end up looking pretty like
it's less MMA than normal.
It's true. We put in a whole bunch of freestyle here because we don't want to look like a deer in the headlights. I'm going to tell you this. I'm old. I've been through hell. I've been through hell and back about 10 times, and I'm still partially. I still have one foot there. I still have a foot in the quicksand and the other one in the grave, and I'm trying to not fall down into both. But
you look it.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yes, I am still
joking. You look great.
I know. I appreciate it, but I don't ever have to look like a deer in the headlights. I guess at least not if I don't want to. Although sometimes I want to. What do they say? What if I want to look like a deer in the headlights? Then you can do that. But it is interesting when the guests don't show up, and I think that. I'm a little bit dehydrated. I'm wearing a jacket and it's warmer. You know, what do the Blues Brothers say? That famous line.
You don't have stuff hooked to you other than your
I don't.
headset. You can take your jacket off.
I could, but I can't take my headset off. What if my ears are burning? What if my ears are feeling crunched? Like do these earphones?
You don't need to wear your headphones. You can take them off. It's just you and me.
Seriously?
Until we do the
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
You'll be. I mean, it's just you and me. We're sitting
until
here.
we get Matthew in them.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Because look at how red my ears are. This is what happens when you put headphones on and you're way
nobody can hear you
40.
now because you're not talking into the mic. But
Oh, there we go. This is what
that
happens.
part you need to worry about.
This is what happens when you put headphones on and you're way over 40, and your ears start getting redder.
We're
than
doing
like
this without
tomatoes.
pot. Wow.
I know, man.
Isn't that like the new thing to do? Sit around in a room and have a little show.
That's true. This is
smoke
supposed to be
pot?
like the hot box, right? Like Mike Tyson's. What is it? Mike Tyson's.
He's not the only one doing it. Like everybody's doing it now.
Well,
I think he started it, and he's like the OG of it. But
we might have to do
and
that.
then Joe Rogan, I guess.
That's it. Well, how about the Schmo? Is he taking some?
I doubt it.
No, he's on that. So
But yeah, hot boxing. Mike Tyson and
Mike
Henry,
Tyson's
Henry
hot boxing.
Cejudo.
Well, we could call this Armand's hot boxing. That would be awesome. MMA Power Hour and Armand's hot boxing brings you today's episode of Feel the Power with the MMA Power Hour.
You know, speaking of mixed martial arts and marijuana,
Yes.
I had some of the Diaz brothers' cannabis the other day.
You did? How is it?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. Lifted me up. I felt dumb as a box of rocks.
Nice.
And
There we go.
I got absolutely nothing done, and that's
Well,
what it was supposed to do.
That's what it's supposed to do. Exactly.
Well, that day it was supposed to.
That's
so,
what your needed effect
That's
is.
what I wanted.
Who is so Nate and Nick have their own brand, right? Is it
Yep.
Scrap Pack brand?
I don't even remember. I just know it
Some good
came
stuff.
from their guy, actually.
Nice, man. Well, we love
From
the
their
Diaz
grower,
brothers.
and he brought it to me.
They have been promoting weed for almost as long as Cheech and Chong. You know, so
Speaking of which, you have Tommy Chong products down there in Oklahoma. For those of you who are tuning in from Oklahoma,
Yep.
Go to all the dispensaries, ask for the vape pens and gummies. It's a limited run, limited supply. There's only a few left, and that does help the show out. So,
yes. Are you glad I mentioned that?
yeah.
Now, when you're done watching your bug zapper, zap all those bugs in Oklahoma, then go to get some Tommy Chong stuff, because we don't want the bug zapper to not be installed, because to try to, as far as I've heard, to try to put up a bug zapper when you're stoned out of your mind, it's tough, isn't it, Adam? Am I wrong about that? Or
I don't put up bug zappers, so
No.
I get stoned out of my mind, but I don't know about the bug zapper part.
Yeah, I don't know. Armand, do you have any thoughts on that? If you're stoned out of your mind, is it difficult to put up a bug zapper if you're living in Oklahoma? Kind of.
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah.
And then Felix, do you agree on that?
Most definitely.
Yep. All right. I appreciate that, Felix and Armand.
I have no idea about the bug zapper part.
Well, you know, they say, because in Oklahoma, they love to sit around their backyard with a bug zapper.
Man, I've spent plenty of time there, and I don't know a single person with a bug zapper.
Yeah, because they don't necessarily want visitors to see it. It's a secret
Okay.
of Oklahoma.
Okay. Wah, wah, wah.
There we go. Believe me, no. I'm from Michigan originally, and we need those bug zappers.
Oh, I was just gonna say Upper Midwest. That's a different story. Bug zappers everywhere.
Yeah, they are, because it's terrible, man. You know what my girl told me? She said there used to be something like fly paper that people would put up. Did you ever see anything like that?
I still do that.
They do really?
Yeah.
It's like sticky sheet. That
Man, we are missing all that MMA goodness tonight.
Yeah, we are. Well, the one thing is there's no event this Saturday, and we did kind of jump ahead to the following week because we're gonna talk about that with our.
I mean,
guest
this Triad combat. Come on, are you gonna tune in?
Well, 1999. I guess you can't help but not. That's right in my wheelhouse.
That's
Actually, the only thing right in my wheelhouse would be free or $9.99, but 1999 could work. Well, what the hell is this? So this is.
We'll get you in there to watch it. Don't worry about that.
But look at this. One of our old correspondents has a picture with his relatives and 1970s tennis star Bjorn Borg on the wall behind them.
Oh.
What the hell is that about? Is Bjorn Borg making a comeback? Let me ask you, Armand and Felix, can a man at 70 years old rejoin the U.S. tennis tour?
Yeah.
He could? Possibly. I guess. Well, he'd have to earn his way there, or could you be allowed there based on achievements that you had in the 1970s?
You have to earn your way there.
Okay.
A lot of stamina.
That's a good. Now, would achievements that you had in the 1970s wouldn't really give you anything? That's too bad. Well, I don't know if Bjorn Borg can make it back then. Do you think?
No,
he's in trouble. In fact, I hate to say it, but when he's 70 years old, even though he was a number 1 ranked tennis player, I think, for 4 years in a row and had the most Wimbledon titles or the second most, or I have a feeling being that he's 70, Armand could beat him in tennis probably right now. Do you think? Maybe he might be able to because Armand's young. He's in good shape. He might have to train a little bit, but I would put my money on Armand in that fight, in that tennis match. Absolutely. So we are having to be a deer in the headlights for about 10 more minutes until we get.
hang with us. We're
gonna. So Dr. Adam Roorda, man, oh man, what memorable.
I'm actually gonna see if we have any comments coming. People making fun of us right now.
Yeah, man, they're probably saying this Colin looks like he's squirming like a fish, man, and I am. I didn't take enough magnesium today. I think my neck is all twisted, and I'm trying to look not fat in this chair where it's a full body shot. I think I'm in the worst shape of all 4 guys in this room right now. That sucks, but then I'm the oldest also of all 4 guys in this room.
I'll cut you some slack tonight.
Thank you, I appreciate it. But I'm gonna be looking shredded soon because now that it's gonna be a full body shot like this, man, I'm not gonna show up looking bad like that, man. I was always the best. One of the best shaped guys in the gyms that I went to in the 90s and early 2000s, and I guess for some reason that's not translating to today, but it will be. I'm gonna get back to it.
I've never been there.
You've never been there? Well, I don't know which is better. I don't know which is better, to never have been in great shape so that you're still not in great shape, or to have been in great shape and now you're in crappy shape. I don't know. Val Kilmer, that's right. So, that's it. But, I will show.
I just kind of lied to you a little bit.
No, I know. You're in great shape. You've always been in great shape.
I'm not now, but I have been.
You were. But so MMA. Let me ask you, Armand, which MMA fighters are notable in your mind? I know you may not.
We
be
actually have people watching us right now. That's
we
so
really?
cool. Yeah,
awesome.
You guys are the best.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you watching. So we're gonna ask Armand and Felix. Which guys do you like? Which MMA fighters do you guys come to your mind when you're thinking MMA champions, even if it's in the past? Khabib. Okay. And George St. Pierre. And, that is a fight that people are still wanting to happen. But let me ask your guys' opinion. Khabib is only about 33 years old now. He's been retired, I think, for a year and a half, so pretty recently. George St. Pierre is 40 now. He did have a fight about 3 years ago. And the difference is the only thing in George's favor was he's a little bit of a bigger man. He's about 1.5 inches taller than Khabib, and he fought most of his career at 170, but also fought one fight at 185. Khabib has been fighting his whole career at 155. Huh? Who?
Silva.
GSP and Silva, they're going to finally make that match?
I think they are.
Well,
I feel like, hey, our guys here at Triller, if anybody can make it happen for Circus,
they could.
We.
But would it be an MMA fight or would it be a boxing? I don't think GSP wants to be in a boxing ring with Silva.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe they'll do a triad thing in a triangle.
Probably. That would actually make sense.
I guess it would, although let's break this triangle thing down. If there's no knees, no kneeing, and no kicking, and there's no ground fighting, then essentially it's kind of like a similar rule set to BKFC, it looks like, right?
Similar. Yeah.
And so it looks like it's just maybe allowing
MMA gloves, though.
Okay, MMA gloves, and I think BKFC is not allowing what they call dirty boxing. They're now not allowing you to clinch and punch, with one hand and hold someone around the neck and like that and head plumb them. This one may allow that. I don't know.
allowed to hold around the neck in the BKFC.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe this is similar to BKFC rules. I don't know. It's definitely interesting, but Frank Mir, I don't know. I mean, like they said in Eddie Murphy's movies, I think it was Beverly Hills Cop or something, right? It's hard for people to leave the crowded light. You know what I mean? I mean, don't you think, Adam? Let me ask you. I've been giving a lot of action to Armand and
I was gonna say I'm starting to feel lonely.
I
over
know.
here.
I'm asking Armand and Felix all their things. So let
Do
me
I
ask
need to
you.
go ahead and sign divorce paperwork?
I know, right? It's doctor's out. Armand and Felix are in. Listen, Dr. Anamora. So what do you say if you were in a sport and you were kind of making somewhat of a jackass out of yourself because you were getting older and you were starting to lose, and then then they say, Adam, we can get you in some other crazy sport where you're in a sport that's similar to the one you were in, and you just keep on fighting through your 40s. I mean, would you
keep making a jackass out of myself?
Well, but you're making money. I guess that's the thing, but
that's what I was gonna say.
Right.
Hey, Colin, how's this? Other than the fighting part, how's this any different than my normal life?
That's true. But my point is it this hard to leave that crowded light? It is, I guess. People don't want to not do something where the fans are cheering and screaming and it's a rush, and I guess I can't blame them, but it really is. It's almost like fly paper to mosquitoes or flies. If you're somewhat famous as a combat sports star and you're that tough a guy or a girl, you're really a stud like that, because 90% of us would never make it in combat sports, probably 95% of us, and you're one of the 5% that had the balls to do it and to be able to get at least close to the top. I guess it is tough to leave it, isn't it? And I guess it would be. Or do you think for certain people it's not hard? Habib jumped out at the top, but he also had made a lot more money than a lot of people.
Yeah, he made a lot more money than a lot of people, and it is hard to leave at the top in general. I mean, if you're one of these guys that goes in there 24/7 into the gym, basically just lives, eats, breathes fighting, imagine all of a sudden putting a stop to it.
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys are not meant for coaching.
Right.
They don't. A lot of these fighters that you see that are continuing it, they're not meant for coaching. And I'll tell you the first thing about these guys. Majority of them that just keep going and going and going. I'll say Sands Silva and Belfort. A lot of these guys that keep going don't necessarily have the wherewithal to complete a full sentence.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah.
They don't necessarily even try, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they can't; they're not capable, but there's a lot that have dealt with the CTE.
Well, that's a real thing, and
it is a real thing.
Yeah,
and they have to keep going because it's all they have.
Right. It's their way of making income and making a living, and nowadays it's really, really hard to.
Even the ones that have made money have still look at Holyfield and what he went through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not everybody's as lucky as Tyson to come out on top.
No.
With a good investment.
That's very, very true.
He's been through everything too. That's a whole different story, but he finally came out on top.
Yeah, he did, man. For a while, it looked who knew what he was doing, and
but it sounds like he's getting froggy now too.
Is he getting a little froggy?
Yeah, I'm hearing he's going to be doing another one.
Well, another fight. Yeah, with Logan Paul, right?
Yep.
I don't know that. He could get a little froggy with Logan though, couldn't he, and still be all right?
I think he'll come out on top with Logan.
Yeah, I think he beats Jake too. What do you think?
Ooh, no, Jake, he would lose.
You really think Jake would beat Mike Tyson?
Mm-hmm. At this point, yeah.
Man, oh man. I tell you what.
With that age difference? Yeah.
Maybe. You know what though? I don't know.
Logan, no, absolutely not. Look, he's not the talented one of the two.
No.
I'm not saying he's absolutely horrible, but
right.
I mean, he'd whoop me.
Yeah.
But Yeah, no.
I don't know.
Big difference between
you
the
know,
two.
maybe because I'm the older dog here of the two of us, I think Mike Tyson even beats Jake. In fact, I'll tell you what. I feel like if he really punishes Logan, then Jake is not going to want any part of it.
Nah, I think Jake will be fine with it.
Yeah.
It's another money fight. Also, Jake is he's so much more talented than Logan. He's been taking the real matchups in comparison. A lot of people would say they're not real, but sorry, a professional athlete coming in that is an actual fighter,
Right.
stepping in and actually puts his all in it, and Jake understands the footwork side of it. I'm sorry, but even going up against Askren, he did it just as clean as Mossvidal did.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Now,
A lot of people are discrediting it because of who he went up against, but he literally did something a lot of people have not been able to do against Askren that are actually really talented fighters.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Just stop him like that. Yeah. Although in Askren's defense, in other fights, Askren was able to start shooting right away because they were MMA fights, and this was a boxing match, and so Askren didn't even have a chance to threaten with the shot. But
And that's kind of what I'm saying. There was less of an opportunity for that shot at all. There was nobody was planning on lowering their head.
right,
Nobody.
Right.
So that wasn't part of the mix.
right.
So
Well-
there was less for Askren to do. And
Yes,
he had
true.
to move forward. And he
Right.
moved forward straight into a punch.
That's true. Well, and there's always a thought if Jorge Mossvidal is willing to fight those guys. He's a little bit smaller than them, but I'm sure he might be willing to do it, although his jaw's been touched recently. I don't know. What would you think about Jake Paul versus Shaquille O'Neal?
I could see that actually.
That would be amazing.
Shaq actually do a celebrity boxing match?
I don't know. He may have. I think he might have. I don't know.
I feel
know.
like he has.
That would be crazy because Shaq is 50 or just about and 7'2". Can you imagine how crazy that fight would look on camera? Shaquille O'Neal against Jake Paul. That would be freaking insane.
And
I-
Shaquille O'Neal next to about anybody, though.
I think, and I'll tell you what, if Shaq can punch, man, because Shaq is probably you guys got to remember, at 7'2", people are thinking, well, the dude probably weighs 300. No, he played at 330, 340, 350 when he was a pro basketball player in his 20s and 30s. The man probably weighs 400 pounds now, and he's not even that fat. Can you imagine being so tall that you can weigh 400 pounds and you're not really obese? Although he probably
Looks like Granahan might be here and ready to go in a second.
the Grand Marnier is ready.
Yep.
He needs the link. Oh, the other one, Eric doesn't have the link. Did you guys send a link to Eric Paulson?
Yeah, tell him
man.
his email address.
Let me see.
Well, we know they're going to be on, guys. At least we have some guests actually showing up.
Can you Eric is just can you try ericpaulson.com? Because you're right, Matthew gave us a different one. ErikPaulson. No, but that's not even an email. that's just a website. And then there's all right. Let me tell you, because the one that Matthew gave us.
Hey guys, hang tight with us. We
Yeah.
are going to figure this out. ericpaulson.com. Let me see if there's like an info.
Yeah, because, hey Eric, we sent you one to the address that Matthew gave us. Just got it. No, Matthew's got his. Just got the link, but that's Matthew, not Eric.
These guys are fun.
All right.
Well, let's get Granahan to hop in.
Yeah.
And then we'll figure it out with Paulson.
Isn't it ericpaulson2@gmail.com? Question mark. If not, let us know the address.
No, we just gave it to everybody.
No, but that's not it. You're right. Well, I'm glad I said that because that's not it. Okay. No, freaking hell. Okay, so because that's not it, guys, apparently. Sorry about that. But no, it's all right. Okay. So please, because he didn't get anything and we sent it there. Hey, Eric, send me the correct email. Apparently the one we sent it to is not right.
It didn't text it to me. And
The one that Matthew
I'll zip it
gave
over to
us.
them. And then send it to me. I'll zip it over to them.
Okay.
As soon as you get it.
Apparently, look, that is apparently,
That is it?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Matthew saying that. Okay. We sent it, and we sent an email. to that link. Maybe he's not knowing who you guys are. He's looking for something from MMA Power Hour. Right. Check your spam or junk folder.
From Third Wheel.
All right. It's coming from LA Third Wheel. All right. Yeah. Yeah, so
Cool. Yeah, well, we're rocking with it.
all right. Yeah, as soon as you guys can, we'd love to have you jump on.
This is fun, guys.
Man, oh
this
man,
is quite
yeah.
the hangout session.
This really is. Well, we're having some fun. It's just unfortunate that
it's now the Adam and Colin
and
hangout
now Matthew
session.
keeps on sending me something tap load to preview. I don't know.
Let me
why he
see.
sent you-
Just let me deal with this.
Thank you. Anyway, back on to MMA. So we've got some amazing fights coming up. The great fights we had this past Saturday. Miesha Tate gave it a hell of a shot against Ketlin Vieira. A really close fight. I know a lot of us thought the decision could have gone to Miesha, and it did not. One of the judges, I think, even had it like 4-1 for Vieira, which is, I think, not the case. But Miesha gave it a hell of a shot at 35 years old. I think she'll still keep going at it and fighting. And, she's in the best shape I think she's ever been in. And her skill set is good. And Ketlin Vieira just fought a really good fight as the bigger and younger fighter. Okay, you got Matthew. And so, and then the other fights were good as well on this past Saturday's card. A lot of some really good fights.
You do need your headset on now for this, Colin.
There we go. Now we'll get the headset back on. Start getting my ears hot again.
Red ears.
Get the red ears going, man.
Rudolph
I'll be like all American. Get red and white and
Tis
blue.
the season.
To be jolly.
You're real bad with these.
Yeah,
headphones.
I really am. Here we go. All right.
All right, hang with us a second here, Granahan. We're getting you in here.
Hang with us a second here, Matthew. We'll just make sure we get Eric in here, then we will be rocking and rolling. Well, this has been a fun show. Hopefully for most people to watch. I'm being like as whacked as I've ever been in any other show before, and so
I'm only at 5%, and I don't have a way to charge. So I just wanted to get in here if I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Matthew. Now, if we could send you it to your messenger, you could use your laptop, but for some reason we can't, I guess.
Yeah, I sent it myself to my messenger. Let's try that. I only have 5% on here, so if I lose you guys, I'm gonna do it off my laptop. But I lose you guys. You can just roll with Eric. Really excited about this project, but I only have 5%, and we had a storm here. I don't have power, so I have to. I just saw Eric text. I have to try to use the laptop. I do have Wi-Fi, so I will be able to. But my phone I cut it off when I talked to you earlier. But it's only at 5%. So
yeah, not only that, but the video is completely frozen here. You guys, would you be able to send a link to his Facebook Messenger? Okay, we'll do that, Matthew. So if you want to jump off this, they'll go do that. And then hopefully Eric can jump on.
Yeah, it sounds good. Sounds good. But if I lose you guys, thank you so much. I'll try to come back on now via Facebook right now.
Through the link through your desktop, through your laptop, you mean. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, perfect.
Sounds good. All right.
Perfect. Thank you.
No problem, Matt. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of that, and then you guys can send the link to his Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure probably Eric is probably all ready, right?
I don't know.
Eric's not in yet.
It's nice and warm in here.
It is. When it came in, it was cold, guys. Now it's warm. Can you send it to my Messenger account also for Eric Paulson? If you guys can do that, you know the spelling of his name, right?
It's the same link for both of them, or no?
All right.
Yeah, it's the same link for both of them.
No problem. We'll have our engineer send that to you, brother.
Figuring it out here, boys and girls. While you're waiting for us to figure this out, make sure to head on over to all of our social media. Give us a like, comment, share. Hit us up on Facebook. Make fun of me and my hair. Make fun of Colin and his glasses.
Yes.
Make fun of us. We love you guys for it. Actually,
Yes.
that goatee of Colin's.
Iconic. The iconic.
Never make fun of it.
No, this is the iconic gray goatee that if I get rid of, well, I am thinking that when I finally get rid of these last
Kind of reminds me of a hedgehog laying upside down.
12-pound upside down hedgehog. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's sometimes what I feel like is an upside down hedgehog in the world of life. Like it's almost like I'm supposed to come out and let people know something, but I can't figure out how to get out of my own way. But yes, this is the iconic gray goatee, and I've promised myself that until I lose these last 10 pounds, I'm not going to shave it off. But then when I do, I will briefly, but then we'll get it back. But yeah, Dr. Adam Roorda, this is a fun show, man. It's so good to have you there. You look very chill. You got the MMA Power Hour colors flying.
Is that his? Can you see it? Is that his? Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's Eric Paulson, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
and then Matthew Granahan.
Yep. Then Matthew Granahan. We'll work this out, and
I DM'd it to you as well, the meeting ID.
he DM'd it
To you, so you can actually send it.
DM'd to me where on Facebook,
On Instagram.
on Instagram. All right. I don't see anything. Oh, you
All right, this is fun.
do you see it, Adam?
guys.
Okay. Do you see-
Cool, thank you.
All right. Okay. Because I don't see any DM or anything.
No, Colin, I don't,
You don't either.
because it's sent to there.
That's it. Sent it to somewhere you know where it is?
So they're in left field for
I
all
think
of this.
you know what?
tonight.
I think you guys sent that link to Caracas, Venezuela, didn't you?
No, this is the perfect night for this.
It
just so
really
everybody
is.
knows.
It
Oh,
really-
we got Granahan here.
I
now.
think next time we ought to have the show in Caracas. I heard it's pretty happening over there. Only costs
lose you.
$1,000 to get a loaf of bread.
Hey, guys, I'm about to lose you. I'm at 1% here, and I don't have Zoom installed on this laptop. It's making me install Zoom.
Oh, you're kidding.
So-
Oh no.
No, so if you lose me, this is what I want to tell you because I'm at 1%. If you lose me, have a great show with Eric. This is awesome with product. I'm excited about it. I'm going to try to get Zoom here installed and rejoin you.
Okay.
But if I can, I just wanted to say thank you guys. I'm really excited about this project. It's an addendum to the Rough and Tumble book. I was just out there in California with Eric. We put together hours of awesome content for this download. It's a supplement to our book that we did years ago for release for the holidays to get out the last 250 or so copies, and we're really excited about it. This is going to be great for the fans, for grapplers. They're going to love this addendum. Great history, great techniques. And again, I apologize if I can't get back in here. I'm going to try to install Zoom right now.
No problem, Matthew. Sounds good, brother. I hope you can do that. But if not, we appreciate seeing you, and we'll rock on with Eric as soon as he comes on. Really look forward to hearing about the addendum you guys put together for that great book from 10 years ago. And Judo Gene LaBelle having read a couple chapters, and it's got so much.
He wrote, he did the forward. He wrote one of the forwards along with my mentor and old coach Billy Wicks.
Beautiful.
It's a great product, and we're really, really excited about it. I want to wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving and a Merry Christmas. If I'm going to lose you here in a minute.
Sounds good. Thank you. Same to you, brother. Really appreciate you, Matthew.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Bye-bye. Okay, so that was the King of Connecticut, Matthew Granahan. The great book, Rough and Tumble, they put together an addendum to Live. You guys know Eric Paulson as having been an early pioneer of MMA fighting and a Shuto champion.
We'll see if he pops in.
And we'll see, hopefully, that Eric Paulson will pop in, and because we would
This
love.
is going to be a threefer.
It would be
This
amazing.
Could be a
if-
record setter.
Well,
for us.
although would it be 0 for 3 if we did have Matthew jump in for at least 2 minutes? I guess kind of it would be aside from 1
kind
minute.
of
But no, Eric wants to jump in here. We just have to be able to
Figure it out.
To figure it out. And I'm just going to say that we sent it. Okay, Eric, you should have the Zoom links. Everything look good? Okay, so we'll just make sure, here, and these are really good guys and personal friends of mine. You don't really want to get mad. either of these guys, especially Eric Paulson.
I'm not mad at anybody tonight.
'cause-
I'm honestly, tonight's the perfect night.
Yep, because I was gonna tell Armand and Felix here that this next guest, Eric Paulson, literally knows 400 ways to break your bones. You know, more than almost anyone on the face of the earth.
Yeah, I think even Angela Lee could
She
probably take any one of us in this room.
She probably could, but Eric Paulson would break our bones quicker than Angela Lee, that's for sure. But no, we're going to get Eric Paulson on. He is a great guy and an absolute encyclopedia of catch wrestling, submission. I mean, the guy trained not only under Gene LaBelle, but also under Danny Inosanto, the head of Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do and the foremost authority of that, having been Bruce Lee's top student. And I believe Eric Paulson also trained under one of the Gracies and the Gracie's cousin, Jean-Jacques Machado. So
How many times have we had Eric? We've had Eric
once,
on
I
at
think
least once. Yeah.
We did. We had him, I think, on with the great coach in Minnesota, Coach Greg Nelson, who was Brock Lesnar's coach. And they both worked with Josh Barnett and several other guys. And Eric Paulson, a great fighter in his own right. And so we definitely are hopefully going to get him on here. And, anyway, so we're looking forward to that segment, ladies and gentlemen.
We are looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to actually talking to somebody.
Yes. Interviewing.
Besides you.
Thank you. Well, I love talking to you, too.
As much as I love you, your
Thank you.
face,
Thank
everything
you.
about you,
Yes,
Colin.
I love you, too. Here we go. Coach
There it
Eric
is.
Paulson, can you hear me, brother?
Woo! Yes.
Gotcha. All right, ladies and
Got
gentlemen.
in.
Excellent. We'll introduce you because we are live, Eric. Ladies and gentlemen, so excited to have this next guest back on the show. Former MMA champion, head of the amazing school CSW. The man knows probably more ways to break your bones than anyone else on the face of the earth, and is a nice guy to boot. We're talking about the man they call the Viking, Eric Paulson. Welcome back to the show, Eric.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys having me on.
My pleasure, man. You are one of the OGs of MMA fighting, having been around there in the early days. I know you were a Shuto champion, right? I think I incorrectly mentioned Pancrase, but you fought mostly in Shuto when you were overseas, right?
Yep. 100% Shudo.
Nice. And you fought at what, 170 pounds mostly?
185.
185. Excellent. And so it was a different time, and we're definitely going to get into what you've done most recently with the amazing book, Rough and Tumble, with Matthew Granahan. He's going to try to get back on if he can, but if not, we'll be talking to you. I know you did a great amendment or addendum to it, and we'll definitely jump on that. But let me ask you, man, I'm always liking to pick the brains of people that have not only were involved in fighting years ago, but through the school that you own and that you ran. Now I think it's Ben Jones running it, right?
Yeah, he's running our fight practice.
Right, but still, you're the guy, the head and that created CSW. So you've had your hands on MMA for pretty much the whole time it's been in existence.
Sure, the whole time I gave up the fighters because we're on our 4th generation of fighters, and I had a lot of the guys that I first started with. A lot of them started leaving and coaching and doing other things. So instead of going back to the smaller shows and starting over again, I decided to step out and then just kind of give some advice here and there, and then just start moving on with what you do after you're done training fighters. I mean, that's what a lot of guys are looking at right now. You got Greg Jackson, Colin Oyama. A lot of the guys are like, hey, what am I going to do when I'm done training fighters? And for me, it was to start promoting the catch wrestling and the Shudo again, and some of the historical stuff. So like this afternoon, I had a great lunch session with Guru Dan Asano and Ajahn Chai. Ajahn Chai he founded Muay Thai in America.
Oh, wow.
And Dan and Asano and him have been best friends forever. So I went over there and we had lunch, and I had lunch with Patrick Tenori, who is the founder or the creator of RVCA clothing. design. He's very gracious in giving and sponsors a lot of great fighters. And then Nathan Corbett actually is a 11-time world Muay Thai champion. He had 65 fights, 44 knockouts, and he's known as the Golden Elbow. And he said, hey, if there's ever a time I could come back and pay homage to my teachers where it originally started, I did a seminar in the Gold Coast, Australia, and he was like 18 or 19 years old. He was just starting out. And then Ajahn Chai trained him when he was 18, and Guru Dan trained him when he was 21. And it was that, with the inspiration of the elbows and the things that he learned, that he got into Muay Thai and started fighting.
Absolutely.
11-time world Muay Thai champion.
Absolutely.
11 times.
Absolutely, it's amazing, and a great guy. We actually did interview Nathan Corbett, and then we actually did go to a lion fight in the freezing cold about 4 years ago out in L.A. in the middle of the winter. It was like 30 degrees, and he was on the mic. Great guy, Australian guy. He's Australian, right? I think I remember.
Yes, he is. He
Yeah,
sure is.
love the Aussies. Aussie. They've got. It's funny,
100%.
right? You never knew that the Australians would be having a tradition of tough fighters, but with John Wayne Parr and Nathan Corbett, and then now the guys that are in
the Man, Sam Greco,
Yes.
Danny Goodson, all these guys were Andy Watt. All these guys were fighters in Australia for quite some time. So it's been a really popular sport because they're close to Thailand and they're close to Indonesia. They're a lot closer than we are. So a lot of the fighters go from Australia to the Thai camps.
That makes sense. And I think you're right. A lot of people didn't know why, but you're right. The proximity is so much greater than for here in the United States. But yeah, I remember that fight, kickboxing. I know, and I'm sure you were watching back in the day like me. Remember that amazing, I think it was a rare kickboxing pay-per-view, and it was Dennis the Terminator Alexio against Stan the Man Longinidis. And right, and
Leg broke.
Oh,
Broke
man.
his leg.
Right.
Yeah.
That it was so, and it was so frustrating. Otherwise, I think that would have been a war. And I was so excited. I'm sure you remember back in the day when you're in your 20s and you're like, oh, this is going to be amazing. You got a big pizza in front of you, your friends, and you're like, this is just going to be all out carnage. And then what, in 30 seconds,
He stepped down, his leg broke right in half.
Yeah.
Same with Anderson Silva, and then right after his opponent that did it to him, it happened to him
right,
also.
with Chris Weidman. Now, let me ask you, because you have a lot of experience doing, the striking as well as all aspects of the ground. Everyone knows, I guess, that what causes these breaks is by the fighter on the receiving end of the kick checking the kick. Is there something, though, that is there a reason why that the bad injuries only occasionally happen? I mean, is the kick checked just so perfectly in those instances, or is it something where it just hits the sweet spot on a fighter whose bones are maybe a little bit weaker from a lot of training? Why do you think guys are checking kicks all the time and it hurts and their feet are getting swollen, but their legs are not breaking in half like that?
Oh. Diet, cutting weight are a couple things. The knee check instead of a shin check is another one. And like for me and my guys, we have a shin makawara. It's a sandbag. It's a hanging sandbag, and you have to kick that thing 100 times on each leg every day.
Wow.
To condition the shin.
Right.
What it does is it starts to calcify your shin bone. And some people, they just have soft shin bones.
Right.
Stan was saying, oh, Dennis Alexio, because he takes so many steroids, it weakens your bones. It's like, well, I think there's more to it than just that. But the shin makawara is extremely important. Another thing is if you're kicking people in the legs regularly, you need to condition your shins. You have to have a strong shin and a strong kick. And the strong kick comes from two things. It comes from jumping rope and running. Those two things develop a strong kick.
Right.
Aside from kicking the bag, it's jumping rope and running are the two things. It's a pounding on the pavement that starts to calcify that bone. And then the other that I found is in Japan, they secretly, all the Kyokushin guys kick that sandbag. And that sandbag makawara, hanging sandbag makawara is what really conditions that shin bone.
Right, and that's kind of equivalent to when people would say that the Muay Thai guys were kicking trees, which really doesn't make that much sense. You're just going to tear off your skin, but it sounds like pretty close to that as far as the firmness would be the hanging sandbag makawara. And that's tough. I remember when I did Hapkido, there was the punching makawara always on the wall. I don't even know if they have those anymore, but that makes sense. So, and it's interesting because when it happened to Chris Weidman, he was a wrestler. He really wasn't a striker, but he was always cutting a lot of weight. And so I guess when it happened to him, it wasn't super surprising. But when it happened to someone like Anderson Silva, you would think who was really a guy whose shins and legs were conditioned. But also, I think when it happened to Anderson, he was about 40 years old already. Was that kind of a mitigating factor that he had just trained for so many years and maybe his body was starting to break down a little bit at that point? Or what do you think caused a guy? Or was he maybe a guy who, even though he was a good striker, didn't really do a lot of traditional strengthening to calcify his shins?
I personally don't think that he conditioned his shins a lot. He was just really good at timing the shot. So he's never gone shin to shin with people. And then the other thing is your diet plays a big part on calcium loss, magnesium. You have calcium, magnesium loss, you're cutting weight. Some people, their bones are super hard and some people's bones are soft. I know my skeletal system I had my skeletal system weight, it was like 56 pounds. And the doctor said, you have one of the heaviest bone structures of anyone that's come in. Your body's equipped for fighting. You probably never broken a bone. And I said, yeah, I've just broken a finger and a knuckle, a bunch of knuckles.
Right.
But I've never had a bone break just because I've had thick bones. So that it's also probably genetics, but a lot like if you're mineral deficient, calcium deficient, and magnesium deficient, I think that's another thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So many people don't talk about magnesium, man. I love magnesium. I remember I had a couple of semesters in college of nutrition and never really pursued it, but always learned a lot from it. And one of the first things I remember as an 18-year-old is just studying all the vitamins and minerals. When I came to magnesium and saw all the benefits of it, I was like, damn, man, why is no one talking about this? And I actually remember
the magnesium secret.
Yeah, it
really is.
Because some people are showing up in hospitals sick as a dog, and they're at a big magnesium deficiency, and they give them magnesium, and boom, they feel fine.
Most people are. That's why there's something called CalMag or Calm.
Yes.
Calm's one. CalMag, you can buy it at over the counter at Costco.
Yeah.
And it's called CalMag, and it's just a liquid. You drink it every night, but it helps you sleep.
Absolutely. I have a question for you. A relative of mine had to have a colonoscopy exam, and they had her buy a bottle of magnesium citrate and wanted her to drink the whole thing, and she only drank about a quarter of it because it tasted so bad. And I'm sitting here thinking, you know what? Can I use that as part of my magnesium supplementation, or is that maybe not going to be good?
Magnesium citrate.
I mean, as a pill, it's fine. But as a liquid, is that going to be?
Well, so when you drink it, it's $2. It's from CVS,
Right?
Or Rite Aid, and when you drink it, it turns into a sulfur. So if you drink it, you start to burp it up a little bit.
All right.
At first, it tastes like a Sprite or a cherry soda.
Right.
So it's best to drink when it's cold, and then when you drink it, you're fine. But all of a sudden, it turns to sulfur in your body.
Oh.
So what happens is it turns to like a sulfuric, it starts to bubble, and that's what cleans you out.
Right.
So
it's going to be
if I'm feeling sluggish, I'll actually go to CVS or Rite Aid and I'll buy a bottle of citric bitrate. A lot of people don't know that. Mm-hmm. It's $2, and I drink that thing, and it just it cleans you out.
Nice. Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the old thing. Now they're giving people Duralax, which I don't understand, for a colonoscopy.
Right. Yeah, man. It's kind of wild. All the stuff they want you to have cleaned out and
Just take citric bitrate. That works pretty well.
makes sense. Makes sense. So, man, so much to talk about with the book Rough and Tumble. I know our mutual friend, the legend Judo Gene LaBelle, wrote the intro to that book. When you came up with that book, in fact, this leads me to one of the first things I want to ask you about. You've trained with so many amazing teachers, and not only that, you trained with the catch wrestling, but also with the jiu-jitsu. I think you training under Jean-Jacques Machado. Am I right on that, or was it?
Jean-Jacques was one of my teachers. I trained with him mostly at the Inosanto Academy, but I started with Hoist and Horian Gracie.
Right.
Horian was my first teacher.
Right.
And he introduced me and got me hooked on jiu-jitsu because he was so friendly and so nice. I thought I was going to go there and get my butt kicked.
Right.
Because they had an open challenge. And then he couldn't train. He started training me and he was very busy. So his brother Hoist started training me. This is before the UFC.
Right.
And then I was with Hoist and I got to do a private with Hickson probably 4 years into the training. And I said, I want to probably do more ground stuff because I want to fight.
Yes.
So I started training with Hickson, and Hoist said, hey, you have to make a choice. It's either him or I. And I was like, well, what do you talk about? It's the Gracie team. I'll just do Mondays and Wednesdays and then Tuesdays and Thursdays. And he was like, no, you have to make a choice. You can't play on two football teams at once. So at that time I started training with Hickson.
Good choice.
And Hickson helped me with the ground stuff. And I used to bounce a lot of stuff off of him all the time. And, I, like all the rest, didn't know what I was doing on the ground. I mean, I wrestled and I did judo, but I had no idea. I mean, they were masters on the ground. And I was fortunate. I got to train in '86. I got to train one day. Hoist couldn't teach me. And Master Higgin Machado came in and he barely spoke English.
Yep.
Him and I were the same weight. We're 185. And then all of a sudden he goes, he said, where would you like to start? And I go, on the ground. He goes, well, what do you think jiu-jitsu is? And I go, self-defense? He goes, no, all fights end on the ground. So we started on the ground, and it was an unbelievable session, and I loved it.
I can imagine.
I went to the Inosanto Academy at that time because I was living out in the desert, and I would drive, and I was training at the Jet Center, and I drove by one time and I saw that Yuri Nakamura was having a Shudo seminar, and it showed punching, kicking, throwing, and grappling. I go, man, that's right up my alley because I like to do all that stuff.
Absolutely.
And that was in '88.
That's amazing. This is 5 years before the first UFC. Eric, we've only got about 4 minutes left with you, and so I'm going to ask you a question here. But first, I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen, we hear so many people nowadays that throw out names of people no one's ever heard of, or people that got a black belt for someone who sounds like someone was Brazilian or something. When you have the people that Eric Paulson is trained under, it's, you can't beat that. Benny the Jet, your kid is at the Jet Center. Hickson, Gracie, Higgin Machado, Guru, Danny Inosanto. This is just insane. No wonder this man is as good as he is, but you can't get a pedigree better than that. I'm sitting here thinking if I could say I trained with one of those guys, I would feel like I could walk around puffing my chest out. But a very humble man is Eric Paulson. Eric, in the last 3 minutes we have you, tell us about the addendum to the Rough and Tumble. I want to make sure you let people know where they can get the book, and then also the video addendum that you did with Matthew Granahan. But I think we've only got about 3 minutes, so I'm going to give the floor totally to you. Tell us what you added and what you think is the best about the book and what the edition is and where people can buy it and find it.
Well, the addendum was Matt and I talked, and we said, hey, what we should do is give some homage to the people that have actually passed away since we wrote this book. We wrote the book and we mentioned a ton of people, and there's been a lot of people that have actually passed away at this time. And there's still some great people that are still around, like Gene LaBelle. Gene LaBelle is still around, and
God bless him.
He's got so much information. I mean, he's done all the pro shows, the pro wrestling, the judo, everything, and a stuntman. I mean, who wouldn't want to hang out with him and just listen to his stories?
Absolutely.
And he's got great books. Him and Gokor created some really great books on submission wrestling and submission grappling. But there's been a lot of other people that have passed since then, and that was one of the reasons why, because COVID's been really tough on people.
Yes.
So we wanted to talk about that, and then also talk about how catch wrestling has blossomed so much. There's such an uprise. There's so many black belts in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu right now that a lot of people are all teaching the same techniques. So they're all looking at the catch wrestling and they're pulling stuff from catch wrestling. Eddie Bravo really helped catch wrestling out because he started the EBI and started the leg locks, and Gary Tonin and Donaher. They're pulling from all different styles because these guys are all competing at a high level in grappling.
Absolutely. Eric, I sorry to interrupt you, but
nothing's ever pure.
Yeah, we got about 45 seconds left. I'm so sorry to put the pressure on you, but
Okay.
yeah, give us the last 45 seconds. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry to cut you.
No, that's great. So anyways, we came up with a addendum for the book. The book is now available again, as it always has been, on ericpaulson.com. And there's also a 2-hour interview with Matt and I talking. And then there's techniques from Yuri Nakamura and me doing some of the Shudo lock flows and some of the catch wrestling stuff. And it's a great find. And also there's a T-shirt that will go along with it for the holidays.
Excellent. I can't wait to get it. I'll be getting it myself. Anyone out there wants to learn what you need to know about catch wrestling and submissions, this is the book, and this is the man, Coach Eric the Viking Paulson. Thank you so much. Huge respect to you. We'll definitely have you back on again to talk more. Thank you so much for coming on, my friend.
Thank you for your time. That was great.
My pleasure. Great talking to you.
Bless you guys. Happy
You too.
Merry Christmas.
You too. Happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas, brother.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. And that was the amazing Eric the Viking Paulson. And I think, Dr. Adam Roorda, we got to wrap it up, huh?
Yeah, we've got to wrap it up. Missing the mic, but we've got to wrap it up. You guys are amazing. Another amazing episode. Colin, I'm going to let you just take it out because it's both of us sitting here right now, but go ahead and take her out.
Absolutely appreciate it. Thank you so much again, Coach Eric the Viking Paulson. We'll definitely talk more again soon. So many questions I want to ask you about MMA compared to NHB back in the days and the differences between catch wrestling and jiu-jitsu, as you're one of the guys that is an expert and a teacher and a high-level master in both styles. So we'll definitely talk again for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to have the guest that didn't come today probably on next week, and some other amazing guests. And thanks so much to Coach Eric the Viking Paulson. Really appreciate you, Matthew Granahan, as well. Ladies and gentlemen, go out there and spread the love in a positive way. Be that guy, be that girl. It's a cold winter, and spread the love. People need it. Treat yourself good, and we really appreciate you. Big love and respect to you all. For the entire team here, this is Colin Crandall, and I'm tapping out.